Hello, and welcome to RollBound. My name is Chas, and I am the DM for this wonderful group. We're going to go down the list and everyone introduce themselves, starting off with Groove. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Groove, and I am bound to the role of Chronoharist Mobius.
Alrighty, and Allie.
Hello, I am Allie. I am bound to the role of Charybdis Mobius.
Alrighty, Minnow.
Hello, my name is Minnow. I am bound to the role of Lady Reverie.
Awesome. Mickey.
Hi, I'm Mickey, and I'm bound to the role of Maria.
And last but never least, Joey.
My name is Joey, and I am bound to the role of Winfrey McNeil.
So, Reverie, you make it a very prominent goal in your life to listen to what people have to say. You ask questions, and you always make sure that at least one of your ears is listening to them. And this drow man in your arms, he tries so hard, and with his last dying breath, he manages to utter the words to you, dragon, before completely falling limp. There is blood sort of staining your armor, now sort of crystallizing and losing its color in the cold, harsh winds of license. The only thing you can hear through this desolate encampment is the whistling of the wind.
So while I'm holding on to this drow, I look down at him and I feel the eyes of the others on me. They've seen the similar glow that comes from my hand when I use my healing ability. They've watched it happen, and I know that at this time they also see this person go limp. And having been in this situation many times before, Reverie, countless, innumerable times before, Reverie will lower her forehead to his. She will whisper something in Sylvan, carried on the wind, far from here. And then, with a practiced calmness, we'll look back up at Charybdis standing over at the house, and the rest of them standing nearby, and just slowly shake her head before gently laying the drow down on the ground.
So, Reverie, do you relay to the rest of the party, after that, what he said? Because it was barely a whisper coming off of his lips. Or do you, wait a minute?
The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait just a second to see if there's any reaction to this person dying. If no one has, any bad reactions, I will then move on, but my first concern right now is making sure that other people are okay, saving what I can before moving on to the next thing. So if my friends look like they are, not in a bad place right now, I will then move on, but
Does he have any sort of ID?
Hearing this, I will reach down. I'll look at Chronoharist and, again, very calm. I will reach down and start looking through some of his belongings. And I'll actually.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll also say, who do I want? I'll reach down and I won't say anything. I'll just reach down and search his pockets to see if there's anything identifying him.
You don't even need to make an investigation check for this, because it's just one guy. You sort of reach down, and he has a medallion on his neck that has what looks to be a family crest on it. It's sort of gold, and has it's actually a pocket watch that he is wearing as a necklace instead of having it in his pocket. And it has a family emblem on it that looks like a otter, curling around a seashell, with other extra ornaments to make it fancy. There's a crown floating above its head. It's a very sweet little thing. And in his pocket there is a it's folded up parchment paper that has a bunch of stuff in it. He doesn't have a wallet, but he has this folded up paper that's very eloquently folded. Those paper puzzles where you have to pull on a piece of paper in certain places
Yeah.
to unfold it and move it around. It's like one of those, and he uses it as a wallet.
Okay.
And that has his identification and like a singular gold piece hidden behind the identification.
Okay. Does it say his name on it?
Yes, his name was Escobar Riverside.
Okay. I will take that. I will take the pocket watch as well. Head over to the rest of the group. I'll hand Chronoheris the ID, because I think that you grabbed the ones that you found last time as well. And I'll also hold out the pocket watch to you. I'm not going to hand it to you, but I'll just hold it out for now. And say, do you recognize this? The last name says Riverside. I don't know if this emblem means anything to you, though.
Does Chronoheris recognize it?
Chronoheris, make me a history check.
With further. And by with further, I mean very slowly. Alright. It's going to be a natural 20 for a total of 26.
Yeah, so Chronoheris, you recognize this sort of family emblem, and it is definitely not anything of nobility, but you do know that there are many families that sort of like contribute to the Winterbane like documentation guild, which isn't like fully its own faction. It's just, they have to call a group some sort of fancy name. And you know that the Riversides are actually a super huge contribution to both oceanic and underground research. Like, you know that they have done marvels for discovering a lot of the things to do with the mountain that you're actually on the side of right now, and they helped in aiding an almost ecological crisis in the ocean that Coast's license as well.
So they're scientist philanthropists.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll take the pocket watch and pocket it and say...
I didn't hand it to you.
Oh.
I just showed it to you.
He'll put his hand on the pocket watch and try to take it.
She will. Do I get the impression that you're going to keep it?
In what way?
She wants to... Are you going to keep this for yourself?
You get the impression that he's taking it to process it or handle it.
Even better.
He's not.
Okay. In that case, I will let it go.
Yeah. You will look it over and pocket it and say, I'm familiar, yes. I had some correspondences with the family.
Okay. I look over at everyone else now. How's Charybdis looking? She's the one that I'm actually worried about.
She's kind of just looking on in this whole situation and I'm guessing Reverie would be able to recognize this very easily. Shock. Charybdis is in shock.
Yeah. Okay. I will go over and I'll reach out to put my right arm on Charybdis's shoulder, pull it back, use my left hand instead. And we'll say, well, Escobar here did have some information that he was trying to pass on to us before he passed on. It appears that they were attacked by a dragon. Chronoheris, how much do you know about dragons? Is it likely to come back anytime soon to this place?
TM?
Make me a nature check.
Okay. It's going to be a 21 nature.
So, Chronoheris, you have never encountered a dragon. You have done much readings and have heard stories, but you have never encountered one yourself. And you know that dragons are very volatile creatures, and they are ridiculously intelligent. So recognizing one's pattern would take a lot of time studying the individual creature. What you do know about dragons, though, is that they are forces of nature, and that dragons, when they hang around an area for a particularly long amount of time, affect the environment around them. And you do know that how license is right now is pretty normal for license. So either this dragon is kind of new to the area, or is paying a little visit because it got curious. But of which you can't tell without actually studying the creature itself.
It's impossible to tell, but we absolutely need to warn nearby residents the event that it's here to stay.
How close is the nearest settlement to here? Do you know?
So we're at an excavation near, what was it, Winterside?
Winter's Bane.
Winter's Bane. How close is Winter's Bane?
It's actually just Winterbane. There's no S in there. I know my own world, y'all. I know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about.
Reverie always had a tail.
She did, alright? Reverie had a tail the entire time. Okay? It was just perspective. Duh.
She was sitting on it before. Leave her alone.
She forgot to attach it. It's prosthetic. Kidding.
Where does it attach? Heyo.
The rest of your journey to make it to... Well, if you wanted to go straight to the Mobius residence, it would be about 2 hours. If you wanted to go to Winterbane, it would be about 3.5 to 4 hours. If y'all use the expedited travel that you were using before with your horses. Since y'all were kind of speed boosting them before you discovered this.
Can our horses even go through here?
As long as you went around the mountains, yes. Because that's what you were originally doing, was going around the bend of the mountain. Because the encampment isn't walled. It's literally like, as it said, an encampment. They're just fancier and have stone buildings. But yeah, license does not have, other than it being snowy, a super hazardous terrain. It's just the weather is fucking annoying.
I just don't know shit about horses if they can even travel through snow. Yeah, I think at this point Charybdis would probably shake herself out of it a bit and just be like, there's nothing more for us to do here. Let's go home.
We're going to need to take a detour to Winter's Bane. If there is, in fact, a dragon, it could be catastrophic. It will surely affect all of license.
You're right. We'll head there first. Then we'll go home.
If your home is closer, wouldn't that put it in more danger?
I mean, yeah, I was thinking about that. You said Winter's Bane is closer? Or is...
No, the Mobius residence is closer than Winter's Bane from where y'all are currently. And it's kind of like... It's because going to Winter's Bane, you'd have to go, like, keep going forward, and... Like, when you are at the Mobius residence, it's closer to Winterbane than you are currently, but when you're right here, you're closer to the Mobius residence, if that makes sense.
So, is the Mobius
would be to go
residence
home and then just send a message.
Okay. I must have misunderstood. I need to return this as well, but I suppose we can send it by messenger. Charybdis pulls out the pendant and hands it to her. I'm going to wrap up here. Can you wait in the cart with Reverie?
Yeah. And, Charybdis does so.
Reverie will look back at the body strewn about and look at Chronoheris and just, like, raise her one remaining eyebrow and be like, is that what you're discussing here?
Chronoheris is flat in the face, and he is not, in fact, going to bury the bodies. He's going to make sure there's nothing else of value here, particularly IDs.
Yeah. Reverie looks back at the bodies again, sighs, and will walk with Charybdis back to the cart.
Excuse me, page turning. There we go. Sorry.
Nice. Yes. One more cursory check to see if there's anything here.
Make me one more investigation check, Colonel Harris.
Alright. Gotta check. It's going to be an 18.
Yeah, so you know that there were at least 12 people here based on your body count, but you only managed to scrounge up about 9 of the IDs. That is including Escobar's. You're assuming that any other IDs were destroyed or they're attached to the bodies you can't check, i.e. the frozen ones that are in blocks of ice.
Peru. Okay. He looks over and... Winfrey,
Hi.
help me move these. And Cornelius is going to move all of the bodies into a hut and put them into kind of like a laying down stacked position, so as to ensure they don't like fall over and shatter.
So
With Winfrey's help. If Winfrey helps.
Yeah, she'll help.
Hell yeah. Yes. As he comes off of it, he wipes his hands, cleans them up, and says, well then, let's get back to the cart.
How is, through all of this, how is Maria doing through all this? What's her, like, kind of reaction?
Maria probably would just be walking around the buildings, kind of with like a frown on her face, just like she's kind of upset, but like it's also she's like seen stuff like this before, so it's kind of like it's really hard to tell her with her expressions. But as everyone is finishing with what they were doing, she would go back to the carriage and sit in the driver's seat waiting for everyone to get aboard.
Yeah, Reverie and Charybdis, as you're walking back to the cart, Saryna, who has like now calmed the horses, sort of like, you know, pulls her coat over herself a little more, and she walks forward and goes, "Is everything all right?"
It will be. We need to get to the Mobius residence sooner rather than later, so they're just finishing up a couple things there, and we'll be on our way. When they get back down, one of them will explain. For right now, I just kind of like lead Charybdis into the back of the cart, assuming that at this point, like, still a little bit of that battle shock, but also she's not like, I mean, Allie, you can tell me, is she like falling over? Is she like walking by herself fine? Like,
Charybdis is usually a very easy person to read in general. In this case, you kind of get this mixture of sadness and just a burning rage. Charybdis is seething right now.
Okay. When we do get settled, Reverie will sit down. She'll like instinctively like reach out to like warm your hands, and then first of all realizes that one of her hands is metal and it's probably fucking freezing. And then also remember that you're better at this cold shit than she is. So she'll just kind of like smile and then look at you with the smile still on her face, like a little bit, but the somberness in her eyes, and say, "Do you want to talk about it? Seems like you're feeling a lot of things right now."
Charybdis looks up and her eyes meet Reverie's, and Reverie can see a little hint of frozen tears just built up on the bottom of Charybdis's eyes, but her expression is one of resolve and determination. She says, "Part of my duty within my family, as Grand Inquisitor and as nobility of license, is to protect my people. Whatever did this, it's going to pay."
Lady Reverie nods and just says, "And what do you think that looks like to you?"
I think that even if it's not anytime soon, I may not be the smartest individual, but even I know better than to tangle with a dragon, at least right now. But I can feel it as I travel with all of you, and my brother. We're getting stronger. I'll tear that dragon's head off if it's the last thing I do. I will make it rue the day that it ever decided to attack my people in my country.
Seeing the new look of determination on Charybdis's face, Reverie will hold out her left hand at this time, if you choose to take it, but she just kind of like holds it out in front of her if you want it, and says, whatever you do, I hope you know, first of all, and this is possibly the dumbest thing that I'll ever say to you, which I'm sure sounds like a lot, but you know, I'm aware that your brother would probably say that everything I say is a dumb thing, but here we are. I hope you know that, first of all, this wasn't your fault. And it's okay if you don't believe me right now. It's okay if you don't believe me ever. I'm going to keep saying it. And when the time comes, we'll be there. Okay?
She takes Reverie's hand and then just like... Reverie, now that Charybdis is holding her hand, can feel Charybdis is like shaking. And then there's a brief moment where the two kind of lock eyes before Charybdis just kind of leans into Reverie's shoulder and then just starts sobbing.
Yeah. I give you a big hug, prosthetic arm and all, and just like, just give you a light little squeeze and let you cry.
Saryna, who tried to listen without being intrusive, sort of like peeks her head into the back of the cart and goes, "You're both very brave, you know. I'm very proud of you." She like steps into the cart since there's not as many people in it this time around, and it's like it like wobbles a little bit because she's big. And she sort of like lays down on the floor since sitting on one of the benches would not be very effective. And she looks at Charybdis and she goes, I don't know what I was capable of before I lost all my memories, but while you were gone, I guess the stress, I found out I could do this. And she like picks up like a little like piece of like snow that she's like, because you know how like snow, like before it melts you can cut, it's kind of like malleable, almost like putty.
Mm-hmm.
She like holds up this little like bean shaped bit of snow that she's crushed up in her palm, and she places it in Charybdis's hand and then like just holds it there, and then in your hand you feel the snow kind of shift and change, and then when Saryna moves her hand, there is a just little white flower in her palm that kind of looks like a sprouted moonflower. And then almost as quickly as it appears, it sort of melts into like a little puddle of water in your hand. And Saryna like kind of claps and goes, "It doesn't last that long, but..."
I'm going to use shape water to freeze the water in Charybdis's hand to remake the structure that Saryna had given her.
"Its beauty was very short-lived. It could never last as long as yours, but I thought it would make you smile."
She doesn't really say anything, but her eyes meet Saryna's and just she nods appreciatively.
And Saryna nods and then gives Reverie a very, like, gentle smile and then sort of, like, inches her way backwards out of the cart, being very much a cat about it. Like, you see, like, her claws kind of dragging against the cart, and she's like, you know how cats have that, like, mortal peril of falling even if they're only gonna go down, like, 2 inches? Mm-hmm. That's Saryna right now. She's, like, looking at it like she's about to fall off a cliff, and then she, like, hops out of the cart backwards and goes, whoop! And then looks up at the two of you, and then walks away.
Also, Charybdis will take this time to look at Reverie and say, "I can enhance our speed of travel once more, but if I do, I'm going to be pretty much tapped out for the day.
What do you think is best?
I think we need to get home as soon as possible, but I just wanted to let you know, in case something happens.
Reverie will nod and give a little smile and say, I think that's a very wise decision.
Charybdis will give a sad smile, and then just kind of wipe her face, and then she's gonna hop out the back of the cart as well and wait for the others to catch up.
Real quick, when she does that, and Reverie has a moment to herself, still keeping like her eye on Charybdis, if she's still visible, but she will bow her head and she will whisper something again in Sylvan, just sort of to the empty air around her 12 times, and then wait for everyone else to come back.
Yeah, so Colonel Harris and Winfrey, since I'm assuming y'all are the last people to exit the encampment, as you're on your way back, you see Maria and Saryna. They're not really talking to each other, they're just sort of waiting at the front. Serena's laying in the snow, petting the horses to ensure that they stay calm. She sees Colonel Harris and Winfrey approach, and she walks up to the lot of the two of you and goes, I'm assuming it was bad?
It was bad. It was a dragon attack.
I'm so sorry.
Your sorries aren't going to do anything for them now. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah, and Croner is going to pop back into the cart.
Charybdis would catch Chrono Harris on his way back in and basically say the same thing to him that she said to Reverie, that after she speeds up the horses, she's going to be pretty much out of tricks for the day.
It's fine, you've done enough already.
And then once everybody starts loading into the cart, DM, I'm going to expend my 3 remaining sorcery points to create a second level spell slot. And then I'm going to expend 2 of my first level spell slots to make 2 sorcery points. And then I'm going to twin cast Enhance Ability
on the
horses once
horsies.
again.
Yeah, so, and once again, to confirm, y'all are going to the Mobius Estate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so with your horses enhanced, oh, go ahead.
Before, Charybdis?
Yeah.
Before she gets back into the carriage, Maria is going to cast, Minor Illusion, and it's just gonna be, a very, like, colorful butterfly just, like, flying around her. Maria is gonna be, like, facing forward, like she didn't do it, but, it's kind of obvious that she did. But she just... So there's just a butterfly for a minute.
I think when Charybdis sees that, she's also going to cast Minor Illusion, and there's going to be a little clockwork hummingbird that sort of dances around the butterfly. As if to acknowledge this and show appreciation. And then I'm gonna make the horsies some speedy boys.
By the way, I feel bad for doing this. I never described these horses to y'all. Y'all got some nice horses. They're big. Like, they're like not. There's a horse that's like not a Clydesdale, but it's like a step down from a Clydesdale, right? It's like Clydesdale light, right? And it's one of those.
It's a Clydesdale Zero.
Yeah, it's a Clydesdale 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Caffeine free.
Caffeine free Clydesdale.
No, these things are fucking full of caffeine after what Charybdis has been doing.
Oh yeah, well now they're now the horses are effectively on Adderall, but regardless, they're like, the reason that I haven't said anything about horses can't go through the snow is because they're not like just quarter horses. These are like travel horses. They're the boys that got the fluffy hoofsies that are muscular. They're beefy as fuck, but again, they're not quite Clydesdales. They're like step down.
Yeah, and as Charybdis casts the spell, she kind of rubs her hands together, and then in the palms of her hands are the faces of two spinning clocks, and as she places a hand on each of them, they, like, for a brief second, grow long bull horns, and their fur thickens up as their muscle mass increases, giving them bull's strength once again. I'm gonna get back in the cart.
Yeah, and then the lot of you proceed onward, and
Way home. Chronoharris will ask Charybdis if she wants to help him put back together the IDs with mending.
Yeah, she'll do that.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so if no discussions are had and nothing happens, it takes about 2.5 hours to get back to the Mobius Estate. And, you know, when it seems like you're trapped in this snowy wasteland forever, just surrounded by purple cherry blossom trees, over this very small incline of a hill, the moment you crest this hill, there is just finally the visage of a very beautiful manor comes into view. Ever so slightly, just slowly rising into view as you are sort of cresting this hill once again, and you know, it is fine. Nothing has happened. If the dragon came by here, it did not attack your estate. Everything looks just as the two of you left it, Chronoharris and Charybdis. It's all of its windows are sort of glinting in the sunlight. You know, all of the plants that surround your estate are still in full bloom, as they are all winter plants, and everything just looks serene and normal.
Heck yeah.
Now, if either of you would, I didn't want to take the liberty of deciding what your home visually looks like on the outside. I felt that was not my place.
We had some stuff for it. Did you read anything, Allie?
Jeez, I have to go back through my notes. I thought we were going to have some travel time before we actually showed up. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Essentially, what they come to is a ways out from town, this large estate, nearly a castle, and architecturally similar to a villa. It is clearly not like a main home, but the vacation home of an unreasonably wealthy family. It seems to open up significantly, but just from the outside, the side of the road, from which it is not far off, there is a large, I'd say, square shape with 4 peaking towers and some nice arching roofs, as well as some sort of clash in architecture, as parts are very clearly influenced by Charybdis' general aesthetic, clock hands and gears and other steamwork fittings that do not need to be there, but absolutely are in full force. It is very... how do I say this? Looks very closed off from the outside as well. There's some hastily constructed bars outside, and it seems many of the windows have their curtains drawn in an effort to conceal whatever lies within. And Chronoharris takes special effort sort of looking back and forth over his shoulder as he opens the gate and lets the horses in.
And then I believe, and I'm sorry if you mentioned this and I just didn't catch it, but also the clock tower for the estate that hangs over the library as well.
This big. It does not fit at all. Like the structure is pretty much like classic Victorian. The clock tower is full on steampunk BS.
Steampunk BS.
But it has soul. Yeah. He lets everyone in, and as they're riding up, these 3 very well-dressed servants walk out. One seems to be this brawny, large, silver-haired man. Human, but so boisterous that his servant clothing, really just a classic formal butler suit, had to be custom made for him. It's sleeveless as well. There next to him is a golem, androgynous in appearance, but wearing the sort of skirt and suit of a female servant. And then a kitsune with 3 tails, who seems to be the least attentive of the 3.
Yeah, speaking of which, the little kitsune one, he, was actually, like, working with the shrubbery outside when you show up, and he had turned around when the gates opened, because that sure as fuck never happens. And he ran inside, and then ran back outside with the other 2 in tow. And he sort of, very cautiously comes up to the cart and goes, hello, welcome back. Are any of you injured? Who are all these people? He, like, looks at Chrono Harris like it is very out of character for you to bring strangers here. Are you injured? Are you dying? Do you have cancer? What happened?
Benji, shut up.
Okay.
And he will hop out of the cart, say, pointing to everyone as he does, Reverie, Winfrey, Maria, Saryna, horses. Assign them all a library spirit, make sure none of them go without surveillance at any point, and do not let them into the library without explicit permission. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
And you said the other 2 were there as well?
Yes. Yes, indeed. And he sort of walks up past them, making eye contact. Braun, give me the status report. Has anything happened since I was gone? Did Phineas come out here again?
No, sir. Everything's been just alright. We got a bit of snow, but that's all been cleared off. The roads look great. The clock tower's undamaged. Pretty uneventful since the 2 of you have left.
Good. Uneventful is good.
You've been gone
Right.
for over a week, though.
Charybdis then looks to Arthur and says, Arthur, do me a favor, dear. Arrange court for me. We need to have a discussion with everybody at the estate.
Yes, ma'am. And everyone goes inside. Benji, however, he does not go inside. He goes around and goes, alright, everyone, don't be weirded out. But, like, he sort of, like, points his fingers. And then everyone who is not a member of the Mobius Estate, they sort of get this, like, little flash of, blue over their face for, like, a second. You don't feel like you're affected by any spell. Any of you, but he goes, 1 for you, 1 for you. 1 for you, 1 for you. And these little, like, blue sort of sprites appear above your head for, like, a fraction of a second and then disappear. And he goes, alright, well, that's taken care of. I am also the estate's doctor. If you need any help, just let me know.
Yes, the Saryna here has a case of amnesia. Please investigate to the best of your ability.
Amnesia? Did she... What sort of amnesia? Magically sourced? Did she receive a head injury?
That is for you to find out.
Right. Alright. And you see Benji, like, approach Saryna, and she just goes, oh, well, actually, and, like, he's just talking her ear off, leading her inside.
Also, Charybdis is going to I'm going to backtrack a little bit. On our way there, Charybdis would have used her calligraphy supplies to write a note to who's the leader of Winterbane again? I had it in my notes, but I can't seem to find it.
Make me a history check, because I think I haven't told y'all any city things.
I have a Victor Frey, who is a drow, an ambassador for license, but I don't know if that's the right person.
That is the overall, that is basically the overall, I wouldn't call him a king, because he's not a king, because that's not how licenses government work, but that is like the country itself.
That's who I'm looking for.
Okay.
But I got a 16 regardless.
Okay. You can disregard that, because I thought you meant specifically, like, mayor-type position of Winter's Bane, unless you also want that information.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that too.
The sort of, an acting officiary for, Winterbane is someone by the name of Lucas... Why did I forget his last name? I literally just had it. I was
spelled
just
with a C or a K?
Okay. Why did I forget his name? Stonewell. His name is Lucas Stonewell. Goodness.
Okay. So yeah, over the course of our, you said it was like an hour or 2 hours to get back to the Mobius Estate?
Yeah.
Something like that?
It was like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, Charybdis is going to use calligrapher supplies to write a note to both of them, basically explaining the situation and warning of impending dragons on licensed territory. And explaining that the outpost was destroyed. And she's going to seal them, of course, and is going to give them both to Malkith and just instruct the golem to have a courier deliver these to the people addressed on the envelopes, please and thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And, the golem, like, just walks off. Arthur looks between the two of you and goes, "Shall I prepare some tea?"
Please. It's been a long journey.
Title card. Okay, sorry. I have to say that every time someone says journey. It is the law.
And Colonel Harris is going to enter and allow everyone inside if they so choose.
Yeah, so, is the Mobius Estate on the inside rather fancy, or is it pretty, like, is it very lavish, or is it rather, I guess, homey? Like, are you comfortable, or are you fancy?
So,
the entrance areas of the house especially are decorated and designed to show a level of class and noble importance, but not so much so that some non-noble coming in would just look at it and be like, what the fuck is up with these people? You know, it's not like gaudy, but it is well maintained.
You're not, you're not smothered by it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it is nicely decorated.
There is a distinct Willy Wonka energy as you go through, in the sense that it seems like it was once designed for people, but it is long since desolate. It's fairly well maintained, clean, but almost hauntingly empty. Yeah. And Proto Harris is going to escape into the library.
Lady Reverie immediately follows you to the library.
Inside, it's a library. It's very clearly personalized. There's many, many rows of books, some decent low lighting, and oddly enough, there seems to be a kitchen installment directly bordering the desk. Like, it's insanely out of place. It's an entire kitchen, you know, little island units everything you would have in a medieval kitchen. It's just shown there. And Reverie, as you come in, these baby owls seem to fly down and about you, and one lands on your shoulder and takes a look at you.
Hello,
at which point
I'm Lady Reverie.
Dr. Agartha flies in and will shoo them away, giving an apologetic hoot.
Wow. I feel like I just stepped into the middle of a power struggle and don't understand what it was.
Yeah, and then
I'll reach up and I'll give Dr. Agartha a couple scritches on the chin.
Oh, he fucking slaps your hand away.
All right.
He gives a scolding hoot, as if to say, as much as I would love to take your next scritches, I am bound to my duty as Dr. Agartha. He communicates this all in a hoot and like a single little hand motion.
Mm. Understanding this hoot particularly well, Reverie will like stand up straight, like she wants to make Dr. Agartha look good, and is determined to be as professional as possible.
Oh, you get a equally professional nod, and then Dr. Agartha flies up and begins scolding the little owlets.
Terribly confused, I go and find Chronoheros. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna roll with something real quick. 3. She forgot why she came into the library. She's just gonna walk around.
She is lost.
She got distracted by weird owl politics. And just perusing your library.
Oh no.
Pulling books off the shelf. Endeavoring to remember where they go. Forgetting. Putting them in the wrong place.
Oh.
Immediately finding a cool picture and just setting the book down on a table. Forgetting it there.
Wow. Terrible. While this is happening, Chronoheros is collecting books and sitting down at his little table desk. He has either forgotten or refusing to acknowledge Lady Reverie.
Real quick for the rest of you. So Charybdis, Maria, and Winfrey. Lady Saryna has been let off by Benji, who has been. Which I want to note, it is the same Benji. It is exactly who you think it is. It is.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna kick the shit out of him. It's fine.
Sorry, this is so lost on me. The only Benji that I know is fucking Prozides meta anime character Benji-kun.
It was in G4.
Yeah, G4.
Oh, okay.
Benji was like an NPC that I made up on the spot, and then everyone loved him, and I was like, well, Benji's real, and he is everyone's friend, I guess.
Also,
we loved him and continuously beat the shit out of him, just over and over again.
Can confirm. As Winfrey and Maria enter the Mobius Estate, Charybdis will immediately take them to the parlor, which they can kind of tell it hasn't been in use for some time, but it is still very well stocked. She instructs one of the general staff of the estate to act as bartender for them and just, serve them whatever it is that they wish. And particularly scotch, Charybdis will say. And she will look to the two of them and say, I shall return shortly. Please try not to snoop around too much. I don't know if my brother has placed any, just don't snoop around. I will return. And Charybdis is going to go to her personal quarters, and she's gonna get cleaned up.
So, when you're all led into the Mobius Estate, you're led into this sort of, parlor, and again, everything's sort of a mix of like a, fancy, comfortable aesthetic that like clashes with like steampunk elements. And once again, you're led into this like sort of very nice like parlor that like Allie said has not been used in quite some time. But I'm gonna say that Malkuth, Malkath, is it Malkath or Malkuth? Is it a U?
It's actually Malkuth.
Malkuth? Okay, thank you. Malkuth, the golem, like, sort of expressionlessly, being a golem, sets down, like, 2 drinks, and then just sort of, like, stands by, staring into your souls. And this is addressed to Maria and Winfrey.
It's a little uncomfortable looking at. Winfrey, do you want to have a drinking contest?
I'm more of a sit and sip type of person.
Damn.
Like to enjoy it as it's going down, you know. But if we really want, I guess we can, yeah, sure.
Hell yeah, let's go!
Malkuth nervously reaches back for the booze that they just put away and sets it down on, like, the lower end of the counter that only the bartender's supposed to reach, and just, again, watches.
Hope you're watching even closer, because we're going to need a lot more rounds of this as we keep going.
Alright, so, first round of drinks, I need both of you to make me Constitution saving throws.
Yeah, this is going to suck. You're going to laugh at me.
I got an 18.
Oh, shit, I got a 19.
Alright, so...
+0, by the way.
Alright, so you both pass. So the first round of drinking, you kind of like, you know, you kick it back, you look at each other a little bit to kind of gauge your reactions, and at most, Maria, like, scrunches up her nose a little more than Winfrey does. But you both make it through round numero 1. And then Malkuth lifts up the bottle, refills your drink, and then watches, like, getting, like, kind of lifting their shoulders each time, a little more interested. And watches.
Numero 1 is English for numero uno.
Yep, I like mixing words. I know say thing. Do it again. Give me another Constitution save.
Oh, here we go. You've done it now.
Ooh,
Still not bad. 15?
I got a 20, not nat.
Yeah, so this time, Winfrey kind of kicks it back, and she scrunches up her face quite a bit this time, and then lets out a nice burp. But she holds strong, you know, after kind of unwrinkling her face, making eye contact with Maria once again, who this time doesn't even flinch, just fucking straight up downs it, sets it down, and is just like, yep. What's up? Malkuth, now, just very interested, pours 2 more. Give me a 3rd round of Constitution saving throws.
Oh boy. I got a natural 1 for a total of 2.
17.
Yeah, so alright, this is how this is gonna go down. So, Winfrey, you're staring Maria in the face because you almost feel like you're about to lose, and you're like, fuck no, I am not losing to someone taller than me. I refuse. I never lose. I am Winfrey McFucking-Neal. So you take that drink, you look Maria dead in the eyes, you feel like the entirety of your little small being just pierce her like one of your daggers, and you slam your drink, set it down. You kind of feel like your nose is leaking just pure alcohol because you again burp, and that, you know, those burps where it comes up and goes out your nose instead of your mouth, and it burns your nose. That happens, and your eyes water a little, but you just keep staring at her. Maria's like, oh, bet, and takes a drink, and, you know, at first you see, she looks like she's about to hold it in, and then just, you see her entire face just twist. Like someone grabbed her by the nose and just went whoop and turned her whole fucking face upside down, because Maria, you sort of like look at Malkuth and then look at Winfrey and then look around, and you see like a bucket that's usually used to hold mop water, like they were just starting to try and clean, and you grab it and you fucking throw up. Just anything you've eaten in the last 28 hours, gone. You are one empty elf.
Fuck.
These rolls are accurate to my rolls last night after a full fucking bottle of wine.
And, you just puke a bit, And Malkuth, like, quickly corks the bottle and puts it away, and then goes to go get things to help. And, you hear Malkuth going, Benji! Benji! And, after, like, a few minutes, you're still puking. Benji comes in and he goes, oh, God damn it. Ugh. And he goes into, like, this room in the parlor and comes back out with some water and, like, a little, clear vial of what looks like little, balls of grass. And he goes, God damn it. Plucks one out and drops into the water. This is just shifting tea grass, but in pellet form, and it makes the water turn bubbly. And he hands it to Marie and goes, drink this, don't drink any more alcohol. I really don't feel like having any of our heads mounted on a wall by one of the twins. Not that they're that aggressive anyway.
I feel like Maria would, like, kind of, like, look up from the bucket, like, glaring a bit, and just like, you can't tell me what to do, but it's all muffled because she's drunk. And then she grabs the water and, like, downs it.
Gentle sips, okay.
Probably throws up again.
Yeah, you drink it so fast and the suddenly cold, bubbly water hitting your stomach just makes you go, ugh! And Benji, like, makes another one, but he puts marginally less water in it and goes, sips. Little sips.
She probably does that by now.
You like, as you're taking your first sip, he, like, has his fingers in, like, a pinching thing, and he, like, raises them both up with your sip, and then lowers them again, like, sip. Okay, cool.
Simp.
God damn it.
Drink this and simp. You'll feel better.
And then, Benji just goes, oh, goodness, okay. You know, I can't decide if this is weirder than my time back home in Ulitsune, or if it's getting there. Anyway, I'm gonna go... he looks at Winfrey and goes, I'm literally just in the next room over. Just yell my name really loud. I'm still checking on your friend, and I have made a few interesting discoveries. Yeah, and then he just sort of walks off, his tail's, like, very, nervously wagging behind him.
How long has it been since Charybdis left these two idiots in the parlor?
Probably no less than, like, 10 minutes. You know what, Charybdis? Make me a perception check.
That's a 19.
Yeah, so, Charybdis, you're upstairs, maybe refreshing your dress, maybe, you know, adjusting your bag, taking out old stuff, putting in new things, brushing your hair, and then you just
taking a 5-minute power shower, and then drying off very quickly with prestidigitation and shape water, and then slipping into an outfit that conveniently looks exactly like the one she was just wearing, which her closet is full of the same outfit. Yeah.
And then you hear, as you're getting ready, you're like brushing your hair to just get the tweaks that prestidigitation can't get, and then you just hear echoing from downstairs.
Charybdis' face visibly ages by 10 years. She just like...
And after that you hear, Benji! Benji! Oh, what?
And she's just going to walk back down to the parlor.
Hey everyone, this is your DM speaking, and thank you so much for watching the 15th episode of RollBound. RollBound's episodes will premiere every Monday on YouTube and Spotify. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at RollBoundPC for more updates, TTRPG content, and most of all, memes. RollBound's content book, Chess's Guide to Kelmar, is also in the works and set to debut in late 2020 to early 2023. Updates about that also on Twitter. Tune in next week as we hear a conversation between Corona Harris and Lady Reverie and learn a little bit more about who Lady Reverie is and about some of the secrets behind her cheery personality. Hope to see you then.